Welcome to the Bogart Effect, a wealthy wisdom podcast. Please see important disclosure information at the end of the presentation. And so when we make that, and coming back to the plan and why the plan is so important, when we build that out, it's done with the specific and direct intent of facilitating as emotion-free as possible that transition. Like, I'm adamant, as soon as someone retires, I want to get that paycheck replicated into the account. You just helped my mom on this, right? And it's like the cobbler without shoes, right? I love my mom, but it's like,
shout out, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. But it's like, hey, Mom, you retired. Congratulations. We need to get this paycheck going.
Yeah.
And it's one thing where I find the emotion-driven off-the-life event can be, for some people, an absolute catalyst for destruction. In the sense of they get so fearful that it makes them do things that are not necessarily in their financial best interest.
I've seen people be retired and go back to work because they are so fearful of making that switch from accumulator to a deaccumulator. Yep. And it's fascinating to watch because, and I think that that's where part of our job becomes so unique, is that we're sort of like the gatekeepers to this door of retirement and showing them the way. And one of the interesting parts is being able to allow someone to feel self-empowered enough to know that this is the right decision and I can make this happen because, I got Bogart Wealth and my team making sure that this is all happening. So it's our job in working with clients as advisors to allow them to see through that, allow them to feel that, so that when that time comes, that anxiousness, that fear is eradicated. Yep. And it's the opening to a new life. Because that's exactly what we're talking about here is you've worked for 20, 30, 40 years to get to a point that you now not have to get up to go work in that way. If you still want to work, you have vocational freedom, great, go ahead and do that. But it's our job through this process to allow people to see that. And that's the best part of the job.
I completely agree. Now, one of the things you said I want to dive into a little bit. The previous presentation by Bogart Wealth was intended for general information purposes only. No portion of the presentation serves as the receipt of or as a substitute for personalized investment advice from Bogart Wealth or any other investment professional of your choosing. Different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk, and it should not be assumed that future performance of any specific investment or investment strategy or any other non-investment related or planning services, discussion, or content will be profitable, be suitable for your portfolio or individual situation, or prove successful. Neither Bogart Wealth's investment advisor registration status nor any amount of prior experience or success should be construed that a certain level of results or satisfaction will be achieved if Bogart Wealth is engaged or continues to be engaged to provide investment advisory services. Bogart Wealth is neither a law firm nor accounting firm, and no portion of its services shall be construed as legal or accounting advice. No portion of the podcast content should be construed by a client or prospective client as a guarantee that he or she will experience a certain level of results if Bogart Wealth is engaged or continues to be engaged to provide investment advisory services. Copies of Bogart Wealth's current written disclosure brochure and Form CRS discussing our advisory services and fees are available upon request or at www.bogartwealth.com.